So well students, here in this class we are to discuss about naturalistic philosophy. We started to discuss about naturalistic philosophy and in a sense in 1 month before, whatever if I am not wrong, I discussed with you about the special characteristics of the naturalistic school of philosophy. In this class today we are to discuss about the exponents or the supporter or the advocate of the naturalistic school of philosophy, about whom you are to know so much well, because at the time of studying about the philosophical schools of some of these philosophers, you are to know the views of all these most important philosophers who are either advocating naturalism or sometimes who are supporting idealism or sometimes who are the supporter of pragmatism. In this class today, very simply we are to discuss about the exponent, means the advocate, means the in other term supporter of naturalistic philosophy. And by knowing about the names of all those great philosophers who advocated naturalistic school of philosophy, you will come to know about some of the important concepts concerning to education. Means your definition, your concept concerning to education will also be much clear by knowing about the names of those advocates or supporters or exponents of the naturalistic school of philosophy. Friends, the exponents or the advocates or the supporters of the naturalistic school of philosophy or naturalism in other term are: number one, Jean-Jacques Rousseau or J. Rousseau. He was born in 1712 and died in 1718. Means we know the great name of Rousseau, whose name has close link with France Revolution. Where he was born, let us see. He was born in Geneva in 1712, and his father was from France and mother was from Switzerland. You see, Rousseau was born in such a family where his father was from France and mother was from Switzerland. Let us see the next slide. Next name, you see, as the exponent or advocate or supporter of naturalistic school of philosophy or naturalism in other term, is Herbert Spencer, and he was born in 1820 and he died in 1903. And Spencer is one of the famous English philosophers. Rousseau, about whom we have come to know, and Spencer is one of the famous English philosophers, and he is the precursor means the pioneer of the scientific movement in education, and has been regarded as one of the exponents or supporters of the naturalistic school of philosophy. Friends, this great English philosopher started in the field of education the movement which had link with scientific temperament. Means in the field of science, Spencer started to implement all those most important elements of science, because you see, with the help of making education one of the most important processes, with the help of the elements of science, you see, Herbert Spencer wanted to, bring senses towards the English society, and thereby to influence, the global social order with the help of his perception or conception or idea relating to education. And this way, Herbert Spencer, next to Rousseau, is one of the supporters or the exponents or the advocate of the naturalistic school of philosophy, means naturalism. Let us see the next slide. Spencer treated education, means this great English educationist, who is one of the most important exponents or advocates or supporters of naturalistic school of philosophy, treated education as one of the means of preparing man for complete living. What is education in the words of Spencer? Here you have had one most important explanation or definition in a sense. For Spencer, who wanted to, add scientific elements in the field of education, education is you see, education is a means of preparing man for complete living. Means man is to be prepared for complete living. Complete living is very much important. For Spencer, to prepare us for complete living is the function which education has to discharge. And the only rational mode of judging of an educational course is to judge in what degree it discharges such function. So friends, the basic role of the process of education is to help every participant to become complete fit for complete living. Means all the capabilities are to be developed so that every participant can face life so much successfully and courageously by overcoming all the challenges which remain present in front of life. Let us see the next one. Next name we found just after Rousseau and Spencer, the French educationist and English educationist, Professor T.P. Nunn. Means Sir Thomas Percy Nunn, his name is, and he was born in 28 December 1870 and he was died in 12 December 1944. A British educationist. He is also one of the famous English educationist of philosopher. Professor of education he is, original member of British Psychological Society, was one of the advocates or the supporters or the exponents of the Naturalistic school of philosophy. Let us see the next. For Nunn, let us see the definition of education of Nunn, because this will help you much, so that at the time of writing about education, the idea of Rousseau is very much important, the idea of Percy Nunn is very much important. And let us see this. The purpose of education is to enable the individual to develop his individuality and also help him become able to contribute to the development of the society. So complete living, here you see Spencer has explained. For complete living, man is to be ready with the help of the process of education. And for Nunn also the same thing. The individuality, the capabilities or the qualities of every individual is to be developed with the help of the process of education. Means the prime function of the process of education is to develop all the individual inborn attributes so that man become totally fit to face life situations courageously, to lead life completely without any problem. He emphasizes, means Nunn emphasizes on the establishment of harmony between the individual and the social claims in education, and rejects the existence of dichotomy or contrast or difference between the two, means the individual and social aim of education. Let us see the next one. You see, George Bernard Shaw, then Rousseau first name, Percy Nunn we have had. Then after, again we have come to Spencer. We have, after Rousseau, we have got the name of Spencer. Then we have got the name of Nunn. And here we have had the name of George Bernard Shaw, the great playwright. He was born in 26 July 1856 and died in 2nd November 1950. And Bernard Shaw is known at his insistence simply as Bernard Shaw. George Bernard Shaw, he is simply known as Bernard Shaw. He is an Irish playwright from Ireland. Means just by England you can see. Irish playwright. He was a critic, or he is a critic. He is a polemicist and political activist. He was one of the supporters of the Naturalistic school of philosophy, or exponent or the advocate of naturalism. So this Irish playwright, critic also advocated the Naturalistic school of philosophy. And for Bernard Shaw, the purpose of education is not only to enable the individuals to grow and develop naturally, but it is also to enable them to accelerate the process of evolution. Again, the name of, you see Darwin here, the name arises, name comes. For him, means for Bernard Shaw, by by increasing and handling on to successive generation the racial heritage, individuals can increase the speed of evolution. Means for increasing the speed of evolution, which is the natural process, and it is the happening of because of the influence of the laws of nature, you see, education should be one of the most important force of the process of evolution. And Barnard saw how we can increase the speed of evolution with the help of the process of education. So the great Irish educationist has placed before us for our consideration, and that's why at the time of considering the concept of education, Shaw's view is very much important. Let us see the next slide. This way means by calculating, by scrutinizing the views of Rousseau, Spencer, Nunn, thenceforth Barnard, etc., the great advocates or the exponents or the supporters of the naturalistic school of philosophy, or in a sense naturalism, we can come to the concluding point this way, that for the exponents or the supporters or the proponents or advocates of the naturalistic school of philosophy, the prime concern of education is to develop the natural attributes of the individuals for the uplift of individual lives and progress of social order. Means education is such a process, friends, with the help of which we can lead life so much well. For living life completely, we need education. It's a means for leading life completely, by facing various types of problems and challenges and overcoming all obstacles, as to achieve the target of success. Education, we need education. And education is such a process with the help of which the individual capabilities or attributes are well analyzed and developed for the development or for the safety of individual life, at the same time for the uplift and progress of social order. And that's why, in the words of the great Irish playwright and critic and novelist, in a sense, Barnard saw, with the help of the process of education, the process of evolution can be speeded up. To increase the speed of the process of evolution, we need education. It is such a process with the help of which we can develop all attributes for living life completely and contribute towards the growth of society as per the demand of change situation. So friends, for understanding naturalism and to know about the philosophical tenets of the great philosophers who advocated the naturalistic school of philosophy, by knowing all these, we can make our idea concerning to education, make our concept relating to education very much clear. Education is a dynamic process for the development of all capabilities which we genetically acquire for living complete life and for contributing towards the progress of social order and helping civilization advance much. Thank you so much.